AFS recording number 2343, side A.
A bunch of boys were hooting it up in the Male Muke Saloon, and the kid that trickled the music box was playing a ragtime tune. When back of the bar in his solo game sat dangerous Dan McGrew, while watching his luck was the light of his love, was a woman that was known as Lou. When out of the night which was 50 below and into the dim and the glare, there stumbled a miner just fresh from the creek, dog dirty and loaded for bear. He looked like a man with one foot in the grave and scarcely a strength of a louse, as he tiled a poke of dust on a bar, and he calls for the drunk, drinks for the house, for the house, for the house, for the house. None could place that stranger's face, though we searched ourselves for a clue, but we drank to his health, and the last to drink was dangerous Dan McGrew. There are men that just somehow descript their eyes and hold them fast for a spell, for such was he, for he looked to me like a man who had lived in hell, with a face most hair and a glossy stare, like a dog whose day is done, as he watered the green stuff in his glass, and the drops fell one by one. Then I got to figuring who he was, and I wondered what he'd do. When I turned and there stood watching him was a lady that was known as Lou. The stranger's eyes wandered round the room, and it seemed in a kind of a daze, till at last the old piano fell in the way of the wandering gaze. The ragtime kid was having a drink. There was no one else on his stool, and the stranger stumbled across the room and flops down there like a fool, in a buckskin shirt, which was glazed with dirt. As he sat, I seen him sway. With a challenge hand, he clutched the keys. God, but that man could play. Were you ever out in the great alone, when the night was awfully clear, and the icy mountains held you in with a silence that you most could hear? With the only howl of a timber wolf as you camped out there in the cold, in a half-dead thing in a stark dead world, clean mad for the muck all gold. And high overhead the green, yellow, and red, the northern lights weapon bars. Then you have a hunch what the music meant, the hunger, night, and the stars. The music almost died away, so soft as you, so soft as you, so soft as you, so, and you thought your life had been eluded of all that it once held dear. And someone had stolen your darling, and her love was a devil's lie, and your guts were gone, and the best for you was to crawl away and die. 'Twas a glory heart of despair. The music almost died away, then burst up like a plain of flood, and it seemed to say, repay, repay, and your eyes went blind with blood. And the thought came back like an ancient wrong, and it stunned like a frozen lash, and the lust awoke to kill, and the music stopped like a flash. The ragtime kid, which was having drink. In a buckskin shirt which was glazed with dirt, as he sat, I seen him sway. His lips went in a kind of a grin, spoke and his voice was strong. And boys, he says, you don't know me, and none of you give a damn. But I want to state my words are straight, and I bet my folks are true, that one of you is a hound from hell, and that one is Dan McGrew. I ducked my head and the lights went out. Two guns they blazed in the dark. The lights went up and a woman screamed. Two men lay stiff and stark. Pitched on his head and trunk full of lead lay dangerous Dan McGrew, while a man from the creek lay crushed on the breast of the lady that was known as Lou. Now these are the simple facts of the case, and I guess I ought to know. They say the stranger was crazed with hooch, but I'm not denying it so. But I'm not so wise as a lawyer guys, but strictly between us two, the woman that kissed and pinched his poke was a woman that was known as Lou.